So I ain't seen no asphalt in about 10.
No, that sounds good, right?
Damn.
That's
It's
right.
Veterans Day, bro. That's the guy I told you about.
Just feeling it, dude.
I know. We should play. Do you have the outro?
I do.
Play the outro real quick.
Here we go.
It's good, right?
Who is this?
It's my boy, dude. They're called Long Cut.
He's lighting it up, bro.
He's ripper, dude.
I'm about to start listening to that on the plane ride home.
I'll send you the album. It's my boy JT. They've got a band called Long Cut.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be jamming.
Dude,
that.
Like
he's
fucking
fun.
Tim.
He's
I'm gonna be
fun
whipping
too.
that, dude.
He's fun. He's good at talking
He's
shit.
got dreadlocks and shit. Like,
He's all,
yeah.
dude. He's awesome, man. And speaking of like button heads, right? We were talking about that with like veterans here and there.
Yeah.
And I remember, man, I saw him at a bodybuilding show or something when I was in the fitness world and shit. And
Yeah.
JT?
yeah, and because this girl was like doing a bodybuilding competition, not him.
Yeah. I was
Like he's
wow.
fit, but he ain't a bodybuilder.
Yeah,
And man, he saw me and was like, "Yo, Grimes, what's up?" And like, apparently, I said "what's up" to him and just kept it fucking moving.
yeah.
And he was like, "Noted." Right? And dude, I'm in a whirlwind. I'm number 2 in a startup. We're fucking,
Yeah.
we're crushing, but
There's
we're
a lot
fucking
going
going.
on. Yeah.
Next album, you got a diss track on there.
Probably, probably, dude. But I finally reached out to him and he's like, "Look, man, I'm not answering your fucking phone call. You fucking ghosted me or what?" And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So he's like, "Yeah, dude, you were talking this fucking game like we were gonna hook up or whatever." And I was in Denver, et cetera, et cetera. And a couple months went by, I was in Denver. And I said, "How do you at that show?" And you just fucking said, "What's up?" And kept fucking walking. And I was like, "Dude, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Like, my head was going 1,000 miles an hour. Like, what
That's
a
cool,
fucking
man.
douchebag. Thanks for calling me out. Yeah, dude. So it
That's
was cool.
respect, though, because like we were talking about it before, you called me out on some shit just for people to know, and it was warranted. And this is for anybody listening. Will hits me up and he goes, "Yeah, man, like you said, you're gonna." I was putting out some content, like, "Yeah, fucking make sure you stand by what you fucking say or whatever."
Yeah.
You know, I'm on my flow, and you're like, "Yeah, like you said, you're gonna get back and then don't."
Yeah.
And I went, you know, and immediately I got that rise up. Like
You're like, "I'm gonna fuck this Marine up."
I was like, nobody tells me, you know, but that's ego.
Yeah.
Right. That was ego. And it was Mike Tyson who said something great, which I fucking love that dude. And he said, whenever somebody gives me like constructive criticism or hits me up, he goes, whenever I get that flare, I just remember, man, who the fuck am I? Just listen. And that was powerful when I just go, and I look back at the text and I said, "I'll get back to you tomorrow." And I didn't.
Yeah.
And I went, you know, but it was important because it's how you respond. It's how you respond. It's like I could have totally fucked this relationship up by being like, "Hey, bro, don't fucking tell me what's up." And it was all that would have all been ego, man. I would have burned it. We wouldn't have even been sitting here.
And it's important too, right? Like, you know that whole saying of like the super hot girl at the bar
Yeah.
is actually more available than you think because she's so hot, guys won't actually go talk to her.
Yeah.
So she's never been asked out.
Yeah.
It's like when you're super locked on. I remember Tim Grover talking about like how he helped Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And he's like, I didn't, like, what am I going to help him play basketball?
Yeah.
No. He was like, I'm just trying to get that 1% out of him.
Yeah.
That last 1% out of them. And it's all mindset shit for them.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like some of you guys that are just so fucking dialed in, all that's left is just these little pivots
Yeah.
that can create long-term relationships or different things, right?
Yeah.
And like that's kind of like it is for me, right? Like I get, like we were talking earlier, I get shiny people syndrome. I get excited about people. I get excited about projects. And then sometimes you commit to certain people and you're like, oh, all in for you, all in for me, different.
Yeah.
Different, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like you start learning to adjust and set expectations differently. But part of like what we were talking about before the podcast was like, hey man, I'll do that stuff. Not coming from a place of bad intent. I won't be rude about it. I'll just be direct. Anyone that responds like you're talking about,
Yeah.
no problem. It's a filter for me to just, hey, you caught that early. That's not a relationship.
Yeah.
Not that I'm making shit up to do that to everybody. It's just when it presents itself. And every guy I've respected that I feel isn't the character, they're themselves. I've had a great response.
Yeah.
And some of them are like bigger names than you think, but then they can do the same thing for me.
Yeah.
Right. But it's interesting. But now that you guys heard this dude, I've heard you described as a romance novel book cover.
Oh, I
Fuck
can see that.
you.
Yep.
Right? I've heard, and he is as good looking as he was on that podcast too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I introduced him to my wife. Like, fuck you, you know. But now that you guys are getting a taste of our boy Taylor Cavanaugh, right? Like, we're gonna get into some cool business stuff. I want to encourage you guys to just go look up Taylor on his YouTube channel. If you just look up Taylor Cavanaugh on YouTube, you'll find him on Mic Drop. You'll find him on Soft Belly or Underbelly.
Yeah, soft white underbelly.
Soft white underbelly.
Yeah, with Mark.
You'll see a lot of good ones. You guys are going to get context on his life, him as a SEAL, him being a part of the French Foreign Legion. We're going to touch on a little bit of that today.
Yeah.
Here's what no one's talking about, which I'm super excited to talk about, hence our podcast, Day $1.0.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about your literal Day $1.0 of just deciding to leave these past ventures.
Yeah.
Getting into business, what Day $1.0 was like.
Yeah.
All the stories along the way. And then even though you're being successful now and you're climbing, how are you still approaching every day like it's Day $1.0,
Yeah.
right? How are you still staying hungry? And dude, I had to kind of search for what you were doing. And I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Which means that not enough people are talking about some of the coaching that you're doing,
Yep.
some of the things you're doing for mindset and performance. And I really feel, I don't want to be negative, but we'll just be negative.
Sure.
Right? There's a lot of fucking charlatans in the coaching space.
Yeah. That's a good
Right?
word.
Yep.
It's a good word.
Fuck them, especially in real estate, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, dude. It's Veterans Day. It's like, it's our day. Fuck it.
Yeah, we could say what we want.
But the problem is there's not enough guys like you, or maybe to an extent like guys like me.
Yeah.
Like, we're calling some things out because we know better, because we've been through shit and we know charlatans when we see them.
Yeah.
But there's not enough of us standing up and actually getting into the performance and into the coaching space that would take the place of that person.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was talking shit about that to Wes Watson.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wes. And he's like, yeah, motherfucker, but you're not doing shit about it.
Damn.
He's like, are you the guy that like doesn't vote but like bitches about who's president or some shit, right? You know Wes, you know how he fucking gets. And it's like, I'm like, all right, dude. Okay. Like, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm like, so like I should be coaching. And he's like, dude, with your following and everybody around you, you know how many people would fucking love to be coached by you, but you're not offering it.
Yeah.
So it's not a thing. And I was like, so you'll
well
now I'm playing like I'm throwing in the third degree a bit politely. Like, all right, so you'll show me.
Yeah.
You'll show me how to set it up. You'll show me how you kind of approach just how you structure things, et cetera, et cetera. He's like, yeah, dude, for sure. I'll show you all that shit. I'm like, great. He goes, cool. 12 grand.
Yeah.
And I go, what?
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, sorry, 12.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buddy, I spent 12.5 to sit down with a guy for an hour. Because I don't do like the group stuff, whatever. Don't need it.
Yeah.
And people might be blown away of like, wait, you spent $12,500 to sit down with a guy for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. That same 12.5 when he just enlightened me on like, look, dude, here's your following. Here's what you're doing in real estate. If you just fucking structured high level coaching, one-on-one coaching, structure your payment stuff the same way I do because you're worth that much in your industry.
Yeah.
Here's what would happen for you. Dude, I made 160 grand the first week. So if people don't think the 12.5 was worth it, you're fucking stupid, man.
Yeah.
But I'm in a place in my career where like I was prepared to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to stomach the loss if it's not fucking worth it.
No.
But it was. And for me, it wasn't even just the structure he helped me with. Honestly, it was just a paradigm shift of like, sometimes you don't see what's right in front of you.
Paradigm shift.
And maybe you're just too busy bitching about things that you don't see the opportunity in it.
Yep.
I'm too busy bitching about charlatans and fake coaches and whatever that you're not necessarily leaning into the thing. And it's like,
change.
dude, you know how many fucking idiots work out? That doesn't stop you from working out, does it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So why would idiot coaches prevent you from not wanting to be in that space because you don't want to be labeled as such?
Yep.
Huge paradigm shift, right? But I'm excited to get into that today with you, right? So a little bit of context. You spent time in the Navy SEALs.
Yep.
Right? Not bad, like second best to the Marine Corps and et cetera, et cetera. Like we're just gonna keep it moving,
man.
right? Like we all know
Bro.
what's up,
Even
right?
SEALs need heroes, bro.
Dude, you know what I'm saying?
You know, yeah.
Even
I get
SEALs
it.
need
No,
heroes. That's
SEAls are
funny.
great guys. We got a lot of buddies that are SEAls. Anything that's super important from your Navy SEAL career that you feel is congruent with now with like being coaching? Anything you want to pull from your history?
Yeah. What the SEAL teams taught me was that rooted confidence. Like you going through selection, it's like you got nothing to prove to like you go, I think I'm this person, but you got nothing to touch and point to and be like, okay, I did something.
Yeah.
And so when I did that, it was like, okay, how I think
They strip you of everything.
Yeah, it was like now it's verified that I know I don't like the word tough, but I thought I was tough, but at least now I can touch something that proves it, and that other people can point to.
I've talked about that a little bit. Eli's talked about it a little bit. I remember a gentleman who was one of our realtors. He talked to me one time. He sent me a question on Instagram when I was doing some questions, and I was like, what are you struggling with? And he said, I'm struggling with that if I do everything you tell me to do and try at my best and et cetera, that it won't work out and I won't end up like you. And he was trying to ask me, like, how did you know it would work out? And I was like, dude, great question. I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know
it's a good answer.
Real estate was going to work out. I knew I would work out.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where you're coming from when you talk about like the SEALs and just different things I've done within the Marine Corps, and it's stripping you of everything but your ability to just withstand.
Yeah.
And make pivots and not give up. And like I tell people, that quitting was taken off the table a long fucking time ago.
Yeah.
And I felt like when I was getting into real estate, I'll have to share my story with you when we're at just private school today, talking to kids about military. By the way, we're all going to go to my daughter's private school today, looking like we are talking about.
Will and I are going to lay it down.
It'll be awesome.
So curious if they're going to let us in there or not.
Yeah.
Oh,
we get bounced.
Dude, the principal fucking loves me, dude. We're going to get rolled up out of there, right? But when I was talking to him, it's just like, man, when I got into real estate, I didn't know it was going to work out. I just knew I know how to work hard. I know how to make pivots. This is either going to work out, or I'm going to meet someone or something from diving in.
Yeah.
That'll take me onto a path that will work out.
Yeah.
And it was more self-belief than, real estate's the shit. You can make money in it. No, I got told the opposite. They're like, hey, dude, there's 60,000 realtors in Colorado. Who told you to be a realtor?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, but dude, between my significant other and between my buddy Alex, who was in it and successful, who watched me grow a fitness company, he's like, dude, you could crush this. But he mentioned why. Like, he saw my skill sets. He saw me build a company. And that was way more important to me than just everybody saying like, yeah, there's 60,000 realtors. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of noise. Like, that's not my first rodeo, like having to get through the noise.
Yeah.
Right. And here we are. And like, we've created several different lanes of income within real estate, but I wasn't chasing money, nor was I egotistical toward, I'm going to be a realtor. I'm going to be a fucking soccer mom. What the fuck? I was listening to people that were around me that were important.
Yeah.
Talk about my character traits and where they felt I was valuable and successful. And I just leaned into it.
Yeah.
And it worked out. Right. And like, for you, you're not that far out of French Foreign Legion right now. Correct? Like, I was watching you on Mic Drop 10 months ago.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm still going back. They want their money back, or they don't like my YouTube channel. So I'm being civil about it. Like, they want to put him in prison and shit. And Fred, what's Fred's prison like? You get like a baguette and some fucking sweet coffee and shit.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
But I'm curious, and I want to open the stage for you a little bit. Like, I don't want to just breeze over your history. It's impressive. You know, what was the French Foreign Legion like?
Man, it was fucking shit.
Because a lot of us have thought about going, dude. I heard about the French Foreign Legion when I was an instructor in the Marine Corps. When guys were like going to be contractors or going to LAPD, some dudes are like, no, man, we got to do this. And you're like, what the fuck is that?
It sounds super cool.
And then you're like, hey, the French got dudes like this. Why aren't they contributing to the war?
Right.
Bro, none of them are French. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, they're all Romanians, Hungarians.
So context, what is the French Foreign Legion? Here's how I dissect it, and it's probably wrong. If you're a felon and you want to go do some badass shit, the French will give you some citizenship to go do their dirty work.
Dude, for real. I just had a conversation with Marcus Luttrell last week in Texas about pitching to his brother about starting an American Legion.
Oh,
dude. Dude's in prison with felonies, pitching it to be like, hey, man, look, go through a gnarly selection and work off your fucking...
We're going to go to Central America.
With that,
That's like the A-team, like the Expendables, man.
But the thing is, and the reason why that's relevant as much as it sounds, and obviously we're not talking about certain crimes. If you're a fucking... whatever. There's some heinous crimes out there where you're not getting into shit, right? But there's a thin line.
You dealt some drugs at 18 and then you get... it's like, bro, and there's dudes that get clipped up at 18, man, and then they're fucked.
You're in the system. Yeah. And like, even Jocko's talked about it. There's a thin line between like the guys that are heroes.
Yeah.
And like, if you were one or two decisions away from like going down this fucking road.
Yeah.
And all of these guys need is just to be a part of something bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
These guys that are in hardened prisons, like, you're a part of something within that entity. And and you guys are all killing each other in that prison for survival versus like go fight a common good.
Yeah.
Be interesting. I don't know.
I like it, man. And the Foreign Legion, just if people don't know, it's like a 200-year-old and some change institution started by an old king that wanted to get foreigners out of the bars back onto the battlefield. That's legitimately, and it was modeled after the old Roman legions. So it was, you serve your time and you have the carrot of French citizenship. So that's the long and short of it. And they fought in every war since Algeria to fucking Afghanistan, man. 7,000 guys. 7,000 guys about.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What was the funnest part? Did you have a good time at all?
No.
Was there I knew you were going to say that. Was there camaraderie similar to like the teams? I know it wasn't necessarily as, like when you're Navy SEAL or if you're attached to special operations, like there's the capacity and the level of human that's there.
Yeah.
Is super high level. Right.
Yeah.
And then like the weaponry and technology and missions and even non-combat training and missions you get to go on, like it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Right. Like, is it similar within like that, like their capacity over there?
You have your top 10%, just like everywhere. You have your turds and you have your top 10%. And the top 10% of guys in the Legion,
they would have won anywhere.
Fucking pretty legit, dude. Like they're like just dudes that in their home country, dude, they don't do outside operations. So it's even in Ukraine or Belarus.
Yeah.
Dude, they're not operating. And
they're
so
just
you got
defending their country.
Yeah, you got savage motherfuckers who are like, dude, I want to make triple the money and I want to get after it, dude. And I had a guy, he was a captain in Belarus. He's actually fighting in Ukraine right now, dude. His brother's dead and all this shit, dude. He's like getting after it for the last 2 years. But he was a captain, special forces in Belarus. He was making fucking $900 a month, bro. Damn. He was a captain, bro. Yeah. And he goes, dude, fuck that. Yeah. And so he went to the Legion and like doubled his pay.
Yeah.
You know, but just to give you an example of that's the type of, you have super high caliber, you know, maybe their weapons manipulation or their training's not like top tier, but fucking hard, bro.
I was not to get into like anything deep, but like I've been to Israel before with the Israeli Defense Force.
Yeah.
And they super love Americans. And we went there. It was our fast platoon that went there, and hard, tough. They have to be. Everybody's trying to infiltrate in Israel.
Yeah, it's real.
They only occupy like 20% of that country because the rest is just buffer from like fucking mortar fire and stuff, right?
It's crazy, bro.
The way these dudes clear rooms, buddy, you know how we clear rooms.
Yeah.
Let's call it surgical.
Yeah.
Not everybody in that room might be a bad guy.
Yeah.
We got to like get in there, identify,
figure out what's going on.
Bad guy, non-bad guy, like we're fucking RoboCop.
Yeah.
Right? And then like eliminate threat and then rescue non-threat.
Yeah.
No better friend, no worse enemy,
Yeah.
right? No, dude. These guys are fucking grenading and flashbanging. Imagine like as you're running toward the room, just like dropping a couple grenades in that motherfucker as you're going toward the room. And then as you're going into the room, they're shooting into the room as they're going, and you're just like,
damn.
But it's a different thing there, dude.
It's
like the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, like it's just a different thing with, and that's where you're just like, oh, these guys aren't fucking around. And they were mandatory military out there.
Yeah.
Like it's so different when you have to defend your country from everyone, right? Mandatory military, their scout sniper school. We did like a little mini camp with them where we were just trading knowledge and different stuff. And their women were instructors at Scout Sniper School. The men were the ones that were actually out doing the sniper work. But they had women instructing the schools. Like they know the tactics. They're great shooters. I didn't necessarily want them in the field or whatever that is, but they were at the schoolhouse teaching. Crazy.
Well, think about that. Like women here or just people in general. I think everybody should do some kind of mandatory
It gives you a
service.
lot more perspective, dude, on just like what to be
how to
appreciative
toe the
of.
line, man.
Yeah.
Nobody think about if you've never gone and learned how to toe the line. It's difficult to learn that unless you really institute that discipline.
Being a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yes.
Like, hey, man, there's going to be majority votes or there's going to be things that fuck you, but it's for the greater good of whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
That's part of it, right? Like just sacrifice or having a temperature for like shit food. Like, dude,
that's real though.
Waking up, like shit like that, man. Like I think it helps.
And protecting your country.
What made you first want to get in?
Into what? The
SEAL, yeah, was it SEALs first? Yeah.
Dude, since I was probably for you, well, same thing as since I was a kid, man, it's like 7 years old about that. I was like, oh, you can be a fucking commando, dude.
Yeah.
That was a real job. So when kids were building forts and playing war, dude, I was playing for real, dude. I was training, dude.
Dude, my
different.
mom was a hippie, right? My dad, Marine Corps, Vietnam vet, and like Vietnam era. My mom hippie. My mom was so hippie, dude. In 5th grade, we had indoor recess. We watched The Lion King. The next day, my mom goes to tell the teacher, like, hey, there's premeditated murder in that movie. So I don't know why you're showing this to fucking kids. This is right when chicks are first starting to like you. Gone. I was cute once. Like you two cute motherfuckers. I was cute once. 5th grade. Gone.
The Lion King.
Gone, dude. Like no weapons in the house. Like my mom was just super respectful of that stuff. And my dad didn't push it. Like I remember one time we had this like whole kindergarten career day. Dress up as whatever you want to be. My dad pulled out his old camis and shit, and I was like, awesome. My mom was like, no. She was already sleeping. She woke up, she's like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I had to wear my John Elway fucking outfit. Dude, I never even shot a rifle until boot camp.
Dude, me neither. I don't think.
Right? Like, so I didn't really know I was gonna like. I always admired the Marine Corps. I always admired my dad's stories and just the shit they talked about. But like, dude, I was great at sports. I played a little bit of pro baseball. So I was kind of doing that thing, and my dad was letting me.
Yeah.
And then like, I leave pro baseball. I come home, and I start talking about that stuff. And he's like, yeah, go see every other branch. Like, so I'm seeing every other branch and what they have to offer. And they were all fucking fat, dude. Everyone says like Marines eat crayons, and Army is like, the Army is significantly worse than the Marine Corps as far as like fucking entry level standard and what's expected from you. I'm sorry, it just is. I'm not saying the Army is bad.
Yeah.
I'm just talking entry level standards. No way. So I come home, I keep talking about the Marine Corps, and he's like, he's asking me about like the Coast Guard, or like, what about these guys? And I'm just kind of deflecting, and he's like, oh man, like this. And I was like, I finally just had like, hey, are you like, do you not want me to go? You know? And he's like, and this is exactly what I need to fucking hear. Because in my mind, I'm thinking my dad's like, what, you don't think I'm good enough to be a Marine?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought he was like, are you like protecting me from the Marine Corps? No, it was the opposite. He was protecting the Marine Corps from me. Because I'm like, hey, do you just think I'm not good enough? Like, why do you keep bringing these other ones up? And I'm like, I go down to MEPS, they were out of shape. Yeah, so I'm finally just speaking my mind. He's like, no, son, you go to the Marine Corps to be a Marine. And you haven't said that yet. He's like, everything you've talked about has been like they're offering college and this and that. He's like, so I thought you were into the college aspect of
That's
the GI Bill. And he's like, it's not that you won't get it in the Marine Corps, but you go to the Marine Corps to be a Marine.
Yeah, you're not going for the fucking
all this
GI
other shit.
Bill.
No. And by the way, I couldn't fucking swim, so like I didn't even entertain Navy SEAL shit at that point, right? But when he said that, I was like, that's where I want to go.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was searching for, like be a part of something bigger than myself. I just didn't know what it looked like.
Yeah.
Once my dad said that, I'm like, now I know what it looks like.
How old were you when you joined?
20.
Yeah, I was in my 20s too.
Yeah, 20. So I go like shit swimmer, you know, like all good. I had this buddy from Poland. Those guys are tough too.
Hard, dude. Have you seen that slap
Buddy.
shit?
Buddy.
Oh, Jesus.
We had a guy in School of Infantry. I've never seen a swimmer like this guy.
Yeah.
I'm talking like swim down 15 feet, push cinder blocks.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
But he was better than like our McQuist instructors.
Yeah.
Now he was like mid-20s coming in. He already had combat action in Poland from some conflict out there.
Yeah.
Comes in like
For 3 months I ate mice. Like,
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah.
And their humor is so dry.
Yeah.
Like you just don't know if they're insulting you
They
or
are.
making fun of you. And it's both, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like Grimes, terrible swimmer. Like it's fucking like the worst, dude. I finally learned how to swim and got the swim call too, and which is not very good. Yeah, interesting stuff though, right? But like it was nice to be a part of something bigger than myself. And I think like you were kind of searching for some of that too as you were growing up. You just caught on to it earlier than I did.
Well, it wasn't earlier, man. I mean, we were. You did earlier than me, man. I was.
But
22.
from 7, you wanted to be this thing though.
Yeah, but it got sidetracked with the girls and the sports and the fucking
girls.
college and the partying and all that, dude. I got super side, but it was also like, oh, I'm gonna do it, but not yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I got to do all these things first.
Yeah.
And when it now, then I was like, oh shit. And then I had to go to fucking jail to get off probation and all this shit. Marines turned me down for my tattoos. Army turned me down for my background. And thank God it ended up working out for me. The SEALs are like, they're like, we'll take you, bro, if you can pass all this shit.
Yeah. Why
I
not?
was like, fucking all right,
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it worked out all right.
Yeah. What was your favorite time in the SEALs?
Dude, looking back at Buds, seriously, I thought we had a good class.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, we had Gallagher's was one of my instructors. Capone was my instructor. We had like pipe hitters. And I was like, I think these guys are pretty legit. And it proved to be the case.
Was Gallagher already done with like his deployments by then?
Dude, no, I was at Team 7 with him, dude, after.
Yeah.
Like, I was at Team 7 with him.
Was that after his investigation or like after that deployment that caused it?
I was at
shit show, dude.
I was at Team 7, and then I got out in 2017, and then they went on one more deployment, and then that's when that happened.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was like, but dude, so the core group, to answer your question, Will, is like, I look back and I go, man, some pretty epic times. You know, you can't recreate that bond.
No.
It's like that shared like gogi hardship.
And dude, half the shit we did, it'll like spark a story. My buddy Perry, he was in Fast with me, and he got married here in Colorado, and like stories came up at his wedding. We're half drunk.
No.
Perfect drunk.
Yeah.
Just enough buzz. We're like, yeah, I could fuck some shit up again. Like, see that guy over there taking everyone's coats? I could fuck that guy up right now. Right? Like, meanwhile, I'll throw my back out doing it. But some stories got brought up, and like it's interesting because my wife, you know, she like hasn't heard some of these stories. Like, you guys did what? And it's like, honey, I'm surprised too. I can't believe I did half that shit either. Like whether it was dangerous or whether it was stupid, it was like, you're hearing it for the first time. Me too, kind of, because I'm like new. I'm a new guy. Today, Will never does that, you know. But it's interesting to like hear all that shit. It's fun to look back on, like. But it's definitely like, what do you call it? I'll have to share this song with you in the car. You'll like it. You just miss the dudes, but that's why I'm glad I've got Eli, right? Like he's like honorary Marine SEAL, fucking, you know, deals with this shit, is in this shit, you know, like, and it's hard to find, but I think it's that, like, my saving grace student business, and I want to get to your business stuff. And then if we got to pause, we'll just run a little bit back once we get back, because we'll have a couple hours before Taylor has to leave.
Yep.
You miss the camaraderie. I did contract work, cowboy shit, not necessarily camaraderie, past, let's just all make it out of here, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I come home. I know I want to come home, so I come to Denver, try out to be a firefighter and all that. I get approved to be a cop first, so I take that. Camaraderie, how do I say it? Camaraderie is forged in adversity, right?
Yep.
So like when I was an instructor at division schools, we'd have LAPD come through, and you're just like, oh, these are good dudes. Yeah. 80% of them came from the fucking schoolhouse where we were instructors, and because we had LA SWAT coming all the time to train on Camp Pendleton, we would instruct them on mount shit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they seemed super similar to us because they were us. They literally had recruiters come to our schoolhouse like, you guys are already like you have your security clearances, you're fucking instructors, like we would love to have you as part of LAPD.
Yeah.
There's like a fast track, right? Like what took most people a year, maybe 2 years to be a cop in LA, we would be in the next academy in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like straight fast track. And excuse me. There's probably 3 departments in the entire country that have enough dangerous shit going on where collectively the camaraderie is there.
Yeah, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm at a department in Colorado. Great department. You know, at the time, great. I can't speak for what it is now. I'm not there. Great department. Dangerous. Gangs and stuff like that, but not so dangerous that every patrol team or every has camaraderie. Dude, they're like, guys there's some bureaucracy there, and I wasn't fucking like used to that. So cool. I did 5 years. I decided to branch out, get into fitness. Was number 2 in the company. Great guy. Outgrew it. Decided to do my own thing. This gap, dude, between the Marine Corps and then Eli was like what? Government work, police work, fitness work. I don't know, 8 fucking years, 5, 9 maybe. a gap until like I met a guy where like, hey man, we're growing a business together. We're broke as fuck, having babies at the same time. The first picture I ever get from him, you know, like when you send your buddy a selfie and shit, like not dick pic yet. We weren't there yet. We were just selfie face.
Those came later.
Is a picture of his wife flipping me off because they're in fucking labor and I'm on a fucking listing. Have a couple. He's literally got his laptop in his lap, banging a couple things out for me on my first listing. You know what I'm saying? And like, and she's in a funny way, kind of flipping us off. But like, the dude's just been in it with me from the ground up. Thank fucking God. But it also taught me, hey man, there's some high level civilians out there that are not only happy to work with veterans, they contribute.
Yeah.
In a way that we don't. And that was like my breath of fresh air that was like, hey man, there's camaraderie out there. Because for a while you start thinking like, why'd I get out? Oh, that's where the camaraderie is at. Yeah. And like, oh, you'll never find it again or whatever. It's like, nah, man, it's not true. Like you just got to keep pushing. He was a guy that's just been like the ride or die growing this whole thing with me.
Man, but that's so important because, and I think this is important talking about Veterans Day and what the day it is.
Go find civilians to fucking hang out with.
Bro. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done, right? You're done. Don't rest on your laurels. Dude, yes, it might open a door and somebody might listen to you for 5 minutes that maybe wouldn't.
Yeah.
But bro, what can you do for me now?
Yeah.
It matters. How do you perform?
What skill set, what do you have that's contributing to?
And also, there's a lot of fucking SEALs, dude, that don't fucking impress me because they fall off. Yeah. Dude, it's not cool to be... I don't want to be ever talking about all the cool shit I used to do. I want to be talking about the cool shit I'm doing now.
Yeah. But it's double. You'll have guys that fall off. But then you'll also have guys who kind of want to eat their own.
Yeah, I hate that.
Like some SEALs or not necessarily just SEALs. Let me retract.
No, but just recently it's been out online.
Buddy, they're like they're mad at you for writing books. They're mad at you for coaching. They're mad at you for all this shit, right? And it's like sometimes people will ask me like, oh, hey, dude, you do like a lot of veteran first-time home buyer and this and that. And I'm like, man, I don't. I help a lot of veterans when they reach out. I don't have anything specific that infiltrates that again. Because it's like, no, man, like it's crazy. And I'm sure whether it's race or your homies you grew up with or I don't know. I think it's in everything though. Because I got hate when I left the police world. Yeah. And I started becoming successful.
Oh,
no different than like sometimes you'll get hated on from the guys in the military.
Yeah.
The problem is you don't expect it.
Yeah.
Even though you've heard about it before, like you don't expect it.
It blindside you.
And because you respect those dudes and you still want to be friends with those dudes, you almost question what you're doing.
Yeah. 100%.
You running across some of that lately?
Man, dude, I got a weird email from somebody. I'm not gonna like put it
because dude, you're hitting some big podcasts right now.
Dude, I got a weird email from somebody, and he hit me up, and he runs some organizations. So he goes, "Hey man, stolen valor's against the law," and I was like,
"Oh no,
whoa!" I was like, and he's a team guy, and I go, "Bro, what?" I was like, "What, dude?" And so I hit him up. I was like, "Here's my buds class. Here's me on Iraq, and here are the guys that you know that will fucking." If there's an issue, like I was very professional, but it was strange because he said something like, "Dude, you're a psychopath with how you fucking stolen valor." It was it blindsided the fuck out of me, bro. And I only say that to say I guess he just didn't know who I was or he thought it. But long story short is it made me question. I'm like, man, am I wrong? Like, the way I'm approaching this is am I putting the wrong message
versus
out there?
Versus like seeing like who it is in the first place, saying it.
Yeah, it did for one cunt hair of a second. I was like, well, am I wrong? You know, it made me question myself because I'm like, if this guy is seeing me in this light, like, what am I doing wrong? But fuck him.
And with that being said, right, we're gonna pause real quick.
Let's do it,
and then we're gonna come back and talk about coaching and what you're doing now. But we gotta go hit this private school. We'll keep you guys posted with how it goes. It's actually kind of fun to pause in the middle.
I know,
because when we get back, we'll be able to talk about how the school went.
Yeah,
how we got kicked out, and it'll be a great story.
Not kicked out.
Bounced.
We're getting kicked out, and my daughter. Sorry, honey.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll be back.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm back.
That's pretty damn good.
We're
It's
back.
good, dude. They're
It
good.
does.
They're good
it does
guys.
segue good.
Such a cool name too, especially like coming from the military, right? Like you name your band Long Cut.
Yeah.
Because you know tobacco.
Yeah.
Long Cut. Copenhagen Long Cut, buddy. Or you're a pussy. Right? One of the two.
I know they didn't have Zin back then, or what?
Dude, I always shoot
And if-
Red Man, dude. I was never like the.
You were like a real dude. You're like Red Man
Well,
shoes.
I
Like
always
this-
found like it was less strong, but
Yeah.
you know, it was just a better
It's
kind
more
of a hit.
organic. I
Yeah.
think it's just
Sure.
more organic.
I was Red Man and fucking what is that? The Glenn. What is the other one? Not Glenn.
You're looking at my 25-year-old Glenn Levin behind me.
Yeah.
Dude, I got a funny story behind that. I had my birthday not too long ago, my 40th. My buddy from Boston who like hates everyone.
Yeah.
And I equally hate him back. It's like a great friendship. I call him to talk shit.
They're both professional shit talkers.
And then when we have to go, it's like, hey, gotta go. All right, love you. Love you too. Bye. Right? He called to get some Dom for my birthday. I was at Capital Grill. And they're like, oh yeah, you can't do that. You have to do that the day before. You can't buy him a bottle for his birthday. He's like, no, I'm buying him 2 bottles. Get your manager on the phone. What are you talking about?
he called
Yeah.
the restaurant.
Yeah, he called the restaurant.
Yeah.
Dude, I called the restaurant for his anniversary.
Yeah.
Got him desserts and some alcohol and stuff, and like they were good with it.
They were there at the restaurant.
They were there at the restaurant, right?
Damn. Yeah.
Dude,
That's
they wouldn't-
classy. That's a good classy move.
It's a great thing, right?
Right.
They wouldn't let him. They said, "Oh no, it has to at least be 24 hours." And then they said this really got under his skin. His friend Mark also already like got him a bottle. It's in the room. And he's like, I don't give a who the fuck's Mark. I don't give a fuck,
Who the fuck's Mark?
dude. They wouldn't let
Fuck
him.
Mark.
That's
So now I'm like,
crazy.
listen. So now he has to tell me this. And now, being a good friend, I'm like, listen, dude, if you can't afford it, like it's okay. Like I appreciate that you thought. They told me the card was declined. Is what they
That's
told.
so funny.
Right in his ass. He gets me this bottle, this 25-year-old bottle behind me. Engraved in the back is "Happy birthday, dog."
That's
Like
cool.
your dog, like DOG, like
Yeah,
you fucking mutt. I think
Yeah,
it says
yeah.
mutt.
That's so funny.
And then it says "Fuck Capital Grill."
Does it really?
Engraved into the back of it. Grab it, I'll show you.
Dude,
it says
that's
"Fuck
so cool.
Capital Grill" on the back of it. Boston loves you, buddy. Happy birthday. I was
that's
like,
cool.
dude, that's super cool.
Man, think about that as a business owner. If you heard that call, somebody going, "Hey, I want to buy some bottles," and they're like, "No."
That's
That-
crazy.
If I was hearing that, I'd go, "Excuse me, somebody's trying to pay you
Yeah,
money.
and it's
take
not
it."
It's not a fucking Chili's either.
Yeah,
Like, it's like
I bet Chili's would let you. They'd be
they
like,
probably would.
Yeah, great. What do you?
Yeah, and it ain't some bullshit bottle either. Like,
no, 2 bottles of Dom.
yeah,
crazy.
let's make it.
Yeah.
What do we need to do to make
Yeah.
it happen?
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Man,
Anywho,
man.
food's on the way, by the way.
Food's on
But
the way, okay.
Part 2, we're gonna gotta dive into. We took a little break. If you heard the intro music again, this is part 2. We went to my daughter's high school.
That was cool,
for
man.
Veterans Day. We'll kind of let Eli give the synopsis on that. I'm gonna check on our food that's coming in, but super cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And here's what I love about her school: super open and appropriate to veterans. You're not allowed to be a pussy cat or a dog there. You know, like your education is like super good, all that great stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a nice campus.
Man,
Dude, it's great, right?
I was impressed with some of the kids' questions, right? Like, yeah, for those of you guys, we'll I'm sure we'll throw some B-roll and clips on social media and stuff. But yeah, these 2 tatted up motherfuckers here had to see a kids around them asking good questions.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Two
great
good-
questions.
2 good questions. One kid asked you something. What was your worst experience?
Yeah,
Man,
let me
that's
tell you guys
powerful.
how. Let me tell you how mature Taylor is. No, it was actually perfect. It wasn't immature. This kid asked me, and he's like, "Hey, what's the worst part?" And I'm thinking like literal. I'm like, "Guy's dying, man." Nah, you know. And then Taylor, timing was impeccable. Taylor goes, "Running." Yeah, for me, man, running. But like, so my thought goes to like, hold on a minute. You mean if I was down the block dying and you had to run to get to me, you're like, hey, Will lived a good life, man. He did some cool shit. Like, let him go.
I'd get you, bro.
But it's a good temperature, right? Because like when you're meeting high school kids, like you don't want to lie to kids. You want to treat them like adults, and if they're asking questions, you want to give it to them. But it also lightened the mood a little bit, and just didn't let it necessarily get too heavy.
No.
Because my mission also isn't to go in there and talk all heroic or pontificate or like
Yeah.
make it this big thing because I'm in front of like high school kids. Like you don't need to make it bigger or make what you did in the service bigger than it needs to be. You know, so like it's just because the reality is like, yeah, dude, whether you're on deployment with them or not, like hearing your buddies pass away is not cool.
Yeah.
Period. Even worse, like suicide. Because it's like, damn, man, like you did some crazy shit and some good shit, and you make it home, and you're, you know, guys are still dying from the war because of it. So like, it's not cool. But then the running comment, it just keeps it tempered, and it's just understanding like your audience.
Yeah.
Of like shooting people straight, but also still being able to be lighthearted.
Yeah.
You know, so like, yeah, it was perfect.
Well, it was also just, you know,
The truth.
you said the truth, and then the other truth. Right? I mean, what you said was there's nothing like I ain't gonna trump that. There's nothing the other shitty. But dude, like, bro, running sucks. Man. It's for the enemy, man.
Speaking of that, man, what does your fitness look like these days? Like, what's your
fucking bro
is
style,
it
man.
Cardio? Is it nutrition?
Man,
is it all of it?
I'll walk on an incline, you know,
Okay.
like a predator, nice and slow. I try to just keep my calories controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the macros tight. But I like bodybuilding, man. Aesthetics.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
I don't like crazy hit workouts because the truth is
You did
I
it.
don't like working that fucking hard, man.
Yeah, dude.
I don't like going and crushing
let's
myself.
dive into that. Because,
You know?
dude, I was like, Eli and I did a diesel day, which is, so my buddy Brian Shantosh, Marine Corps commander,
Yep.
infantry commander, hard as fucking nails. Dude.
Super
Like,
cool, dude.
Navy Cross recipient. I think it's soon to be
Damn.
Medal of Honor. Yeah, dude. Like,
Damn.
they made up a scene after him in Call of Duty.
How old is he?
He's just turning 50, he just turned 50, right?
He's a hard dog.
Yeah.
Man.
Dude, he was like, I can't remember where it was it during the invasion. Kills like 30 dudes.
Yeah.
Right, like in one stint. Just a fucking. I'll bring up his Navy Cross for you, but hard. He was our school director at Division Schools when I was an instructor. So that's where I first meet Tosh, and he does these diesel days. You'd love it. It's a 24-hour nonstop physical endurance challenge in Boulder.
Yeah.
And Tosh, he first starts these, and they're cool, dude. You go up there, he's got a whole program for it. And he's like asking me about Eli. This is how he plays chess too. He's fucking stoic and deep in thought, and like, but he's also half retarded because he's like us. Yeah. So there's a good blend in there, right?
Yeah.
And we went and did a diesel day, and like every 2 hours, you're doing something nonstop for 24 hours. But every 2 hours it changes. Whatever the challenge. I don't want to tell you in case you do it, but you're doing early shit. I had Eli do it. Because Tosh was like asking me if he thought Eli would do well at it. I'm like, I could come up and volunteer. Eli could do it. And Tosh was like, yeah. And then that silence. And we're on this phone call. And as it got quiet, I was like, I can't let Eli do it. I'm not going to do it. I got to go with him. I got to do it. I can't volunteer.
Meanwhile, I didn't have any part of this conversation
At all.
whatsoever.
We'll get to the dude. He's never involved in like some of my decisions. Like it's gotten dicks onto his phone. It's got all sorts of trouble. We'll get to that story too. He just opens his phone while he's cooking dinner for his family. It's like gay dude's dick all over his phone. Like my fault.
Yeah.
It was my fault.
Yeah.
Oh, he was stroking it too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a dick pic, bro. It was full on.
We'll get to that story.
Yeah.
Wait till you get into real estate. You think the Marine Corps and Navy SEALs?
And real quick side note, the teachers that I just gave our podcast name to that said they're going to listen to this next
we're gonna cut this
Monday.
one out.
No, we're not. But I apologize.
Oh.
I told them there was explicit content.
Yeah.
But for those of you teachers I gave this, I'm sorry. I warned you.
I love how you give a disclaimer.
Yeah, maybe we'll like say the big story. But long story short, dude, we do this diesel day, then we do 75 hard, and it was not a service to me.
Yeah.
No, some of it was, some takeaways. And this might be unique to our background, or maybe Eli's background with like bodybuilding. I did 75 hard, scored pretty well, especially for being 260 pounds.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. Like, oh, dude, I'm fucking mentally strong. I got it. If I need it, I got it. Then I do 75 hard. Hated it. Did it. Right? We were also like, at that time, we had just gone on or getting ready to go on a Annie Frisella's podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? I think we did it after his hit. We showed up, right?
Yeah, we did.
We did
Yeah.
Diesel Day, then we did Annie's podcast, then
Yep.
we did 75 hard.
Yep.
And they were a disservice because it's like, dude, I could always nut up and get it done.
Yeah.
So needing something, needing a diesel day or needing a 75 hard to like stay in shape or whatever. If I wasn't in the middle of something like that, I wasn't doing it. Because it was like, dude, I still got it. And the lifestyle you and I lived, that was just normal, dude. Like you're fucking going. Like if somebody asked me to climb a 14er today, I have zero interest.
Yeah.
Done it. And I'm just not interested. So for me, it's like, finding motivation for lifestyle changes,
Yeah.
for just the change that they are, not having to attach an event or a moment or a 75 hard to it. Because when I'm done with it, I stop doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, and I think it hurts me because I just get bored. Well, but I think I get bored because I reset my my expectations for what it's supposed to do to me. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, you hit a really good point in that, man, the best thing is the shit you like to do. That you're going to always do. And so that's what I always hit with guys is I'm like, I don't want guys to go do Metcon and their CrossFit. It's got its place. I mean, dudes are jacked, but for me, it's hard, man.
Yeah.
And fucking really hard.
But you got some injuries along the way too with your military service.
You get, well, it's a lot of high impact. It's also, dude, you can crush it for 3 months, 6 months, and then they're like, oh, dude, I just can't get in there. And then one day it turns into a fucking week. And
I'll
then
tell
it
you
turns
this,
into
bro.
a month.
You get hurt. It's so hard. It's so hard to like sustain motivation.
Yeah.
Mental state, progress. If you can't, like Eli's super good at jujitsu. Side note, I always try to get him to like choke me.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, dude, you're gonna do some like secret shit on me. I'm like,
It's like, you know, if like you had a big brother that's like, come on, man, just like hit me as hard as you
like-
can. You're like,
but
no, I know where this is going. No.
but Taylor, I just like asphyxia. You know what I mean? I just like I just need his
wanna
like
feel
arm
it.
around my throat. You know what I mean? Like,
Feel the pressure.
Awesome.
yeah, fucking gets me
That's
going. He'll never
awesome.
do it. But I would joke because it's like every time I'd see him from jujitsu, it's like fucking bum knee, fucking bum thumb. And
Something,
I don't know if it's because I've just come across and dodged injury enough. Like, dude, we were fucking, you remember spy rigging?
Yeah.
Okay. We were spy rigging in SOTG, Special Operations Training Group in on the East Coast in North Carolina. And you're hanging from this spy rig, right? And you're doing, you know, like they pick you up, they let you down, you're doing these little entries, and pilots are getting their hours, right? One of our best guys blows an ACL. You know how?
Oh.
Because he's the low man on the spy rig, right?
Yeah.
And the pilot is just too low.
Yeah.
And smacks two dudes into the top of pine trees, bro.
Yep.
Knee gone, done.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck,
Yep.
man. Like, and I think for me, like when I see jujitsu, it's like, not that I don't like it. I feel like I know enough to keep myself safe if I'm in a situation. And then you just see some of the injuries, you're like, dude, I can't do it.
Dude, I had a subluxation of the patella doing jujitsu in college, and I went back on the mat just to kind of get it out, get the fear out. But I got zero interest going into that shit ever again. I did Muay Thai, never got hurt. Did jujitsu for like 2 months.
Because Muay Thai, you can regulate,
my knee.
like you can regulate, not blow knees out. Like you can just don't kick bags too crazy. You can do it for the cardio and for the aesthetics, like for the athletic side of it.
I'd rather just box, man, and lift. I just like that smooth battle rhythm. I like to go in there, enjoy what I'm doing, push myself, but not kill myself.
Yeah.
And I just do it every day.
Well, and it's sustainable too. Like that's the biggest thing. That's the reason I won't do keto. Like keto works. Yep. But I
Not
love fucking
sustainable.
carbs. And the second I stop, like I could do that for 16 weeks, get fucking diced, but then I'm not eating carbs again. So I'm like, I'm not even going to fucking do it a day.
Yeah, you need some glycogen.
1,000%, dude. 1,000%. Yeah. So with you, it's bro splits, eating well. Do you track your macros on a regular basis?
I try to whenever I'm trying to hit a goal, I'll track.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I have a good.
You have a good barometer.
I have a good barometer of what I need to cut out, and but I like tracking for the clarity, man.
Yeah.
I like the feeling of control.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good, man. When I'm like, all right, I'm not guessing, because when I guess, dude, I can put on rugby weight fast, bro.
Oh, yeah.
That's you and I are super similar, dude.
Yeah, dude, I could, dude, 20 pounds in a week easy if I wanted to.
Easy,
dude. If I just wanted a house, dude, I'll be 240 in a second.
Cornbread and whole milk, and I'm
dude.
fucking ready to go.
Dude, I'll be throwing hay bales, dude, in a second, bro.
How much cardio you do?
Man, I try to just keep my splits short rest intervals.
Okay.
So, man, and so I just lift it and then I'll walk and do some sprints.
But almost like a cardio pace.
I like sprints in the sun.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I like to go to the gym. They have this place called the Yard at Metroflex, Marietta. I
dude.
love Metro.
hell yeah.
I just do some sprints, man, and fuck around, dude. Dude, I heard a quote or a stat that said something like 90% of adults past 30, whatever.
Will never sprint ever again.
Never sprint ever again. And
Yeah.
for me, that was such a shocking thing. But really, if you think about it, bro, go outside and sprint.
Yeah,
It fucking makes, it also kind of resets that like child thing. You just want to start laughing.
Yeah.
Go sprint. Don't kill yourself, but go fucking sprint, man. And it's, dude, that's like the most important thing to cover down is
Even
like
just
sprinting.
like some hit, dude. Spring and summer, like just hit like one of the high school football fields and just do some wind sprints.
It's massive,
Things
dude.
like
It's
that.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
15 fucking minutes,
And
man.
like the
smoke
stimulation,
you.
like you do a set of sprints and you feel like, dude, your quads the next day,
Different.
fucking hamstrings.
Yeah.
Like it feels like you
It's
had a full
different.
leg day.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, right? Because I want to get into some of like what you're doing now. So when we talk about like this fitness, so you're in coaching now. Performance doesn't matter what industry you're in. You're doing a lot of one-on-one, high-level performance coaching. Correct?
Yes.
Walk us through like the structure of that, and walk us through, you know, like where your decision was to do that because you were coming out of like French Foreign Legion,
Yep.
right? And like wanting to do the YouTube thing, do the mindset and performance thing. Like walk us through what that decision looked like.
Yep.
And I mean, like you're not rich in the French Foreign Legion, but like, hey, when you're walking away from money,
Yeah.
so you'll have like monies will run out.
Yeah.
It's no longer coming in.
Yeah.
You got to go make it.
Yeah. Like we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Veterans, man, you transition. That
Yeah,
check,
walk us through that.
That check's not coming anymore. So I had some fear, man. It's all I ever knew, really. I had a couple years of civilian work, and I was just out of need trying to get myself correct and feel good. And I just started waking up early, started reading, I was like, oh, I'm going to start doing this every day. Right. And then I started to feel better and I started to get some momentum, some progress, macros, wake ups,
Yeah.
reflection, simple. And so that's generally what guys need help with. First, I ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
On our first Zooms, I'm like, what's going on? You know, what is the friction points here? Some need more fitness, some need more habits, but everybody benefits from a more structured day. It doesn't matter what
Just
the
being
fuck
more
you're doing.
intentional and
Yes.
just more organized.
I call it the deliberate life, man. From your fucking socks to your hat, everything should be deliberate.
But a lot of people know this, right? And there's a lot of coaches out there. So like, why you? Like, is there something different about contextual experience from like guys that have done it and proved it at a high level?
Yeah. Well, I think it's just for everybody. Man, it benefits when you know someone's been through it and come out of it, especially when they're in it. And it's like, all right, this guy, dude, I was addicted to fentanyl.
Yeah.
And I was suicidal at one point. I had some serious friction low moments, man.
Like
where-
drug-induced suicide thoughts or what?
No,
Like,
it was
more when you were
purpose, man. I was lost.
Yeah.
And when I was sitting in my truck, dude, I realized I was homeless. I had no money. I had lost everything. And I was in a high rise pitching decks for millions. And now I got nothing. And that was a moment where I went, oh shit, like this is how it happens. I had no gas to drive anywhere. And I was like,
I
oh
can't
shit.
even drive
I
off
had
a cliff.
$6 in my account. I remember
Yeah.
it so specifically. And I turned the key off and I went, oh shit, this is how it happens. And I just sat there for like 3 days with a sawed off, bro, on my passenger seat
Jesus
going,
Christ,
well, I wasn't even sad, dude. That's when I knew it was like, I was like,
It was
well,
dangerous.
just logistically, like, how is this going to go down? I was
So you just had
tired.
like you just had a rational conversation of like laid out the pros and cons.
yeah, I'm like, how's this going to go down? And
So
I'm like,
why didn't you?
first I didn't want to leave like a fucking mess for someone else to find for just practically. And so I thought, here's the funny thing is I was in this jungle. I had no shirt on. I'm like sipping vodka and I go and I just walk in. I'm like, well, maybe I'll jump in a fucking volcano. There was a volcano erupting. I was
so you're in Hawaii at
Yeah,
this
I was
time.
on the Big Island, dude, in like the
shit.
jungle. And I looked off this cliff and it was like, I was like, I'll jump off this cliff. And I looked and I went, it's not high enough. I'm just going to get fucked up. So I was having like this, and then I started laughing. But that like, I go, dude, you're fucking ridiculous. You're going to jump in a fucking volcano.
Yeah.
I was like, reset, bro. But then also I had that God voice go, dude, you're being a
Stop it.
bitch.
Yeah.
Me, oh, poor me. I was like, dude, you have a mom, a sister, all these people what kind of legacy are you going to leave? I was like, dude, if I'm going to die, I'm going to do it with my fucking boots on like a man.
Yeah.
And so that's what got me to the Foreign Legion. And to answer your question directly, Will, there's a lot of people in that place of just no bearing. And I go, don't worry about what the fuck you need to do. What your purpose is. Focus on self-development.
Dude, here's what's crazy about that. Like when I sat there, like I think a lot of us have had that day. Like mine was kind of rational where like I was literally sitting in my fucking M3 and I I wasn't suicidal, but I wasn't not. I'm going to be comical for a minute. So I'm not making fun of or being comical about suicide.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be funny for a second.
Yeah.
It's that whole bro conversation of like, are you gay?
Yeah.
Like you say you're not gay, but you haven't tried it to go, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Right? So like,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, are you, kind of like you assume and say like you're not suicidal. But I felt like I just had to like have the fucking conversation with myself. Mm-hmm. I literally just sat in my car with like a pistol on the dashboard. Didn't even know why I put it on the fucking dashboard, like some fucking statement to myself.
Yeah.
And just laid out pros and cons and was like, okay, I'm not. Mm-hmm. But it just felt good to like address it.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Versus like always doing this, always blinding it or always pushing it away. Mm-hmm. I think that's what might make people more suicidal than anything. I just looked at it. It was like, all right. And I'm talking like this when I'm sleeping in a pantry, dude, like starting over in business, bankruptcy, all that shit, right? Mm-hmm. But I just had the conversation with myself to go, all right, that's just not who I am. Cool. Got that off my fucking plate. So like, okay, so then your only choice now is to just get better.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So then like, okay, then your only option is like, we need to start working toward being productive.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting for me to just like identify that I'm not and be able to tell myself I'm not and get moving. But here's what's crazy. I've always reflected on sleep, water, exercise, food, right? Whether it was ground up, broke as fuck, that's what mattered.
Yeah.
I would like wake up, I would get the gym done. I'd study for 8 hours. I treated it like a business. I'd wake up, get the gym done, study for 8 hours, and I'd go do Uber and Lyft to just make a buck to provide for my daughter a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And I'd make sure I got a gallon of water a day, all that stuff. If you scroll down to the bottom of my Instagram, you'll see me doing Lyft.
No way.
Swear to God.
That's sick, dude.
And I do it to give people permission to start over, right?
Yeah.
Like, because people want to start over, they don't want to sacrifice their lifestyle or anything else, right? That's what gets in their way. But whether it was when I was broke as shit, or even like now, Eli and I were talking yesterday about getting some of our employees to have a competitive nature and to perform. And hey, as leaders, are we kind of like feeding them performance-based coaching, or is it more accountability and like they need more performance right now? Hey, what could you and I be doing within ourselves to then deliver that message? And dude, even now successful, quote unquote, we're still not where we want to be, but I'm significantly better than a pantry right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It still boils down, even though like we're doing more dynamic shit, more high level shit, there's still these fundamentals that it comes back to.
Mm-hmm. Has to.
So it doesn't matter where you're at on the success chain right now. Like if you're trying to get more out of your life, they should talk to a guy like you.
Well, that's what people slip on and then they backslide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They just slip on the fundamentals. Like I heard a statement, they said, some SAS guy said, they asked him, what's the difference between infantry and special forces or special operations units? And he goes, they master the fundamentals. And I go, damn, that's fucking power. It's just mastering the fucking basics.
And it's ambition too.
True.
Because you got some guys, like you got tier 3, tier 2, tier 1. The guys that are like tier 1, do they want that?
Yeah.
And some guys are like, they're good at tier 2, tier 3. Some guys are just good being in the fleet in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
But you're right though. It's like they mastered that, becoming brilliant at the basics, along with just a neurotic palette for ambition and pursuing this.
Well, you see,
right?
You see any kind of special force dude, special operator, whatever. You see him at the range. Most dudes shoot slow. It's kind of like an interesting thing. I said they're not like shooting cowboy all fast. When I see guys who are like civilians or whatever, they're like out shooting. You see guys pull from the holster, slow trigger squeeze.
Eli, I remember we went to fucking shots. Mm-hmm. They were asking me to shoot faster, and I'm like, listen, man.
Why?
Just call the fucking drill. Don't fucking. I'm gonna shoot you real fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run my thing. Same thing like in the police academy, dude. They were like, guys were like just trying to rush certain things. I'm like, dude, this is day 1, day 3, day 5 at the academy. Like for the shooting portion, we're in the police academy for 6 months. We got several months of coming to like, dude, what are you doing right now?
Dude, we had in the Legion.
Just so intentional.
Bro, in the Legion, it was something that it bothered shit out of me at the beginning, is dudes are like, trying to be all like cool with their drawing and shooting and whatever. And then, but dudes were like speeding their, taking out the mag and like clearing safing. They're like, I'm like, bro. And they're doing it like on muscle memory. Like they're cool to like get the fucking mag out. And I go, bro, that's not what you want to rush.
You know what bothered me? And maybe we're saying the same thing. Guys were just as quick to put their gun away.
Yeah.
As they were trying to draw their gun.
Yeah.
Out. I'm like, listen to me. You're missing the point. Buddy, it will not be a drill out there.
I'll be last to put my gun away.
I'll fucking never put that thing away. Ever. You'll be fucking heloing me out of there, dude. And I still got my fucking gun.
Why would you put it away, dude? It's not what you want to rush.
It's because they're just not in the right, like they're in a speed drill. They're in like this performance thing.
Yeah.
Versus like tactically understanding what you're doing.
Yeah.
And, guys have ideologies of like, hey, you don't need to shoot a quarter size, pattern or whatever. Like as long as you like, because hey, in real life, like you're gonna just be hitting the core or the legs or whatever. It's like, I got that, man. But like it should be small in training.
Yeah. Because it's gonna get a lot bigger in real life.
You gotta be way more accurate in real life when you've got elevation, moving targets, other circumstances, glass fucking blowing up by you. You need to be as accurate as possible because like you don't want the error of margin to happen in training because you just want to be fast. Mm-hmm. The error of margin will present itself called a battlefield.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of variables out there. You don't need to introduce any of them. Dude, just fucking, hey, like, for example, right now, somebody comes to my house right now and I got to shoot him. And you're carrying whatever, right? Cool. Dude, just all of us having to get either reacclimated or acclimated to a fucking gun going off and you don't have ear pro or fucking eye pro or someone's fucking screaming. Like, dude, just that in itself will fucking throw you off.
Oh, yeah.
But here we are, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people miss the point.
Not to mention your heart rate is sky high.
Buddy,
your adrenaline's going. You're never going to rise to the occasion. You're going to fall back on your worst day of training. Mm-hmm. I heard somebody say that and I go, dude, that's
why your training has to be so intentional. It's like, you know where I first started learning like this fundamental? It was from Cal Ripken Jr. I went to a camp my senior year in baseball and we were at this high school for the camp. They had this new memorial baseball field named after him and shit. It was super dope. He had us early in the morning taking ground balls in the hallway of a high school. And you're like, first of all, it's Cal Ripken Jr. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? But then he started explaining, like, listen, we're going to come in here and you're going to learn fundamentally how to field ground balls. We're not going to go out onto that field and you doing a bunch of dumb shit because of a bad hop.
Yeah.
We don't train with bad hops. We're going to be in here where it's perfect. You're going to learn how to do it perfect. And then when a bad hop happens, you're going to adjust appropriately. Mm. But you can't train with that. Like it was like a perfect environment for certain things to develop certain things. And like, that's like going back to that whole speed thing. It's like, look, dude, when you need to speed up because of a bad hop, if you're athletically and fundamentally sound, you're going to handle a bad hop.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, don't worry about me speeding my fucking gun up, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Just be appreciative that I'm this precise with how much of a relationship I have with me and my weaponry.
Yeah, I don't ever feel like I'm good enough to fucking start shooting cowboy, dude. I'm like, dude, I still feel like if I'm not driving nails and shooting keyholes, I'm like, well, I should probably still be shooting slow.
And you can speed it up to learn drills, but then once it starts getting too wide, you got to bring it back in and slow it down. But you want to like do well and do above most.
Yeah.
Understand the difference between cover and concealment, and you'll probably be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because if we have cover, you know what cover is, Eli?
Yeah.
Versus concealment?
Yeah, concealment. Cover will actually, like, you're safer behind cover versus concealment just hides you.
You're in a bush. No one knows you're there.
Yeah.
But a stray bullet will catch your ass,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Or if they find out you're there, trouble, right?
Yeah.
But if you have cover, what do you have?
Protection.
Time.
Oh, time. Okay.
Time.
Yeah.
Hey,
You can think.
poise, right? Like, let's communicate. Let's get our now plan and communicate, and then right versus like freaking the fuck.
And
out.
that goes with everything, man. That tactical pause, man, goes with your business decisions,
sitting at a fucking restaurant before you open your mouth. That's me.
your relationships, right? How many times can we just fly off, and ruin a day by being loose with the mouth?
Yeah.
Dude,
It's so easy, man, to just lack of discipline, man. Take that tactical pause, bro. Hit that sills.
So what do you feel like the biggest thing you're helping people with now? Like I know you coach a lot of folks. Best place for people to find you when it comes to coaching, is it just through Instagram? Throw
My
your DM?
website, taylorcavanaugh.com. If anybody
We'll have
needs
links.
to get me. Yeah,
We'll have
so
links on the podcast as well.
that all goes to me. I don't outsource or AI. Everything goes to my personal email.
You have the conversation, and it's kind of cool to do that, right? Because in a world of like AI and different things, it's nice to just from the start have a real conversation with somebody.
I have visibility on every single person from inception through the end of my programs, which I really like.
What's the pattern you see from like high performers that you coach to, moderate to not so much? What's the difference between like high performers? Did they start there with you? Is it just, are they more committed?
High performer, you know what's interesting is high performers are more decisive. They're like, hey, they already come in knowing they're going to sign up, right? They're not window shopping, which is, I noticed, like, we don't go to the car lots and be like, hey, kicking the tires, bro. Like you're going when you're ready to write a check.
Ask them
like
every time. I'm there every time.
Well, it's that, and that's what I noticed about high performers. And also they drop the ego. And that's like where I had to get to, is like when I reached out and I got on a program and I was like, dude, I don't understand macros at all. That was like I was like, I'm a Navy SEAL, I'm a Legionnaire. I don't know who can tell me it. But the truth was, I fucking didn't know how to like really get cut. I never had tracked. And so I go, I got to listen to somebody. And that's really what helped me. But habits, and people can always tighten up, and high performers are like, hey man, I know I can do better. Where I need outside perspective, and I go, oh, dude, it's usually glaring.
Do you struggle with like finding the right guy to listen to? I felt like because I've got ego. I think we all do, right? That's a safe thing to say.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to listen as long as I respect the person it's coming from. Like I think for me, like our pursuit of a coach, we were just becoming super successful. There wasn't a lot of people capable of coaching us, and I don't mean that egotistically. I just mean we were getting pretty far on our own, and a lot of folks that were around us, we were passing them.
Yeah.
And they wanted to throw some coaching at them. It's like, nah, you're just not the right guy.
Yeah.
We found the right guy, and I'm happy to listen to it. But do you struggle with the same thing? Like you just got to find somebody that's sharp enough or successful enough to actually be humbled and to listen?
Absolutely. And I got to respect their daily process.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, we both hooked up with Wes, man. Shout out to Wes. Fucking love Wes. But I really, dude, he walks the walk.
Yeah.
People say whatever the fuck you want. Motherfucker walks the walk, and he records it and has done it every day.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of respect because there's a lot of bad days, man.
So many people want to judge off of like opinion of like they like somebody, or if they like their lifestyle or their political views or whatever. It's like, listen, dude, that's already your ego. You got to be able to be in this mindset of like, what can I take from this? Like if they're a high performer, what can you take from it?
Yeah. Bro, Larry Elders said something on a podcast recently. That was one of the best things I've ever heard. They go, hey, somebody asked him, hey, what makes a good golfer? And he goes, well, and this guy gives an answer. Oh, it's the shoulders and the stroke and this and that. And this other golfer's like got his arms crossed and he's just watching. He goes, and it gives this big eloquent answer. And the other guy goes, and what do you think makes a good golfer? He goes, I see where the ball lands.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's exactly what the fuck I care about. I want to see where the ball lands. Fucking that's it, man. Results.
Yeah.
They fucking matter.
They 100% matter. But like if you look at, when people talk about Wes Watson, or I don't care. What I care about is like what I can pull from someone.
Yeah.
And what I needed from him is what I got from him.
Yeah.
Do I have the same political views as him? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Do I see everything how he sees? I don't. Like I didn't even get that far into it with him.
And does it matter?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to get to know him and be his best friend. It was like I was meeting him on a professional standpoint of like, hey man, like there's some things you're doing great here, and that's what I'm curious about, and I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So many people have the other small talk and the other bullshit and and it's like, hey man, stop trying to get to like everybody so much. Just have more respect for where people are successful and try to figure out what you can pull. And then just cut the fat off of that fucking bone, dude.
And most of the time, and this goes with guys in the teams and wherever, man, there's a lot of guys that I want to operate with that I don't like.
Yeah.
And guys that I like that I wouldn't want to operate with.
Buddy.
What is one of the worst things they say in the military? They go, he's a good guy, but That is like, he's a
fucking
good
hate-
dude, but I go, bro, I don't, I'd rather, dude, he's a piece of shit, but the dude drives nails. Right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
fucking pipe hitter,
Yeah.
bro. It's like, that's who I want to go with. I don't give a fuck if I like you or not. I'm like, hey man, can we make money?
But
Can
you
we
get the
grow?
opportunity to learn that in the Marine Corps or like in the teams because you're forced to be with people.
Yeah.
If you're on Team 7, you're on Team 7, bro.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be there and you don't necessarily like them. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Learn to fucking operate well together.
Yeah.
But then you start learning the benefit of like, needing to just like or go have a beer with this guy is not the most important thing.
Yeah. It's a benefit,
Yeah.
man, to be able to work and grow with somebody
dude,
that you like. That's
there's
cool.
guys
but it's
I've
not
had
the
beer-
fucking,
Yeah.
And there's guys I would have a beer with. You would never catch me in business or a gunfight with them.
Yep.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Like they're dishonest or the way that they go about their business. I'm just like, nah. Or like they're too smart and shady. Where I know I'd end up in shady shit with you because you're just fucking smarter than me.
Yeah.
I'd be saying yes to shit in trouble with you.
Yeah.
Love you. You're a high performer. Your integrity, not my thing.
Yeah.
And so for several reasons, right? Like people could like adapt better. But either way, like what I wanted to talk about, like which is what we got to, was like the coaching you're doing, helping people with their mindset, their organizational skills, and just being a higher level human from the perspective of a guy that's just done high level human shit and figured out a way, whether it's through his ups and his downs, to just organize it, duplicate it, help people become the better version of themselves. Like that's what's most important. And this is why I hit so hard on contextual experience, man. It's not that I'm against every coach. It just, if your whole job is that you tell people how to do their job, it just bothers me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Just like I'm not going to sit here and tell people how to build a real estate business. I've never done it.
But you can help them be a better version of themselves.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I'll show somebody how to show up and so they can perform their best.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think it's very important for you to, what's that saying? When people are like faking, God, what's the fuck?
Faking,
Yeah, they're faking or like,
pretending, acting. Fucking.
yeah, dude. Anyway, but they're kind of full of shit and they're like, well, imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
People are like, and I go, you know why you have imposter syndrome? Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. 100%.
They go, hey, if somebody asks me something, they go, dude, do you ever feel like how do you beat imposter syndrome? I go,
Stay in your fucking lane.
I go, I've never fucking felt that.
Stay in your fucking lane.
I go, by the time I put the camera down, I was like, I'm only telling you how I figured out how to get right, and I know it's going to help you.
Yeah, and you're not opening your mouth until you've figured it out.
Yeah, it took me years, man.
Yeah.
And by the time that I put the camera down, I was like, all right, man, this works. Okay, cool. Here's the battle rhythm. Let me show you how to do this. Here's your macros. Here's your supplements. Here's your workouts. Here's the weight. Here's your reading. Here's the intent. Live your life with
But if
fucking
people are
intent.
like, Taylor, I don't want to get fit with you, dude. I just want to like get mentally tough and fucking build my business. I'm like, no. There's no skipping you, bitch. Like if you can't get better with you, then these other things, like it's going to be limited to what it could be if you work on self.
Well, people go, oh, I just want the mindset. I don't want the fitness. I go,
It comes from the fitness.
I go, you're fat. I go, there's no hack here. And people think
Yeah.
mindset is a hack. I go, bro, mindset is the opposite of a hack.
Dude, physical, like what Tosh says, like that Brian Sean Tosh does Diesel Days. The physical endurance challenge, like the 24 hours he puts you through. The physical is just a vehicle for you to go into your mental. Like you've got to create stress and fatigue and unknown and laziness and questioning yourself, and it all comes from the physical.
Yep.
That's what lets you self-induce mental struggle.
It has to happen.
Where else would it come from? Like someone dies in your family and like now you just hope you're mentally ready. The only way you can really self-induce in life a lot of hard mental challenge is to physically go do something, right? And then there is some like carryover in like business. You can force yourself into some business things, but it's got to start with you.
Bro, people are like, man, I just want to sit and like think my way out of this. I go, dude, you can't think your way in. You can't think your way out of something you acted your way into.
Sure.
And so you gotta
Like stuffing
act
your
way
fat
out.
face.
good.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, man. And so if you've acted your way into a shitty life, guess what? You're not
act
gonna
your way out.
fucking kumbaya and visualize your way out of it. It's not gonna fucking happen.
No. But you could rationalize and tell yourself why it's okay and you can accept it.
Of course you can.
Yeah, fuck.
There's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
Man. You can tell themselves whatever story they want,
100%.
but they know the truth.
100%.
Yep. Alignment is real. You can't deny it.
No. And when I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, kind of off topic. You brought up scripture earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has that been something that is like new to you, or something you grew up with, or has that? How have you incorporated that? Like, I'm just curious, kind of, because I'm on like, I grew up religious and stuff, but as an adult, I feel like I'm actually doing it now, or trying to.
Yeah.
You know, what does that look like for you?
My parents were, raised Catholic, but we never went to Catholic church, and I never took mass or anything like that. So, but my mom and dad, they went to gurus and meditated, and I was exposed to a lot of different religions. I never had anything forced, but I always felt like a guiding force,
Like a draw,
life.
yeah.
Always, man. I never, even in my worst times in jail cells and whatever, I never was like, "There's no God." I just knew. I was like, well. All right, well, I guess I got myself into a pickle on this one, brother. Like it was always like, all right, what can be learned in this path?
See, and you have a conscience.
Yeah.
I don't know if evil in this world has it. Eli can like speak to that. I feel like one of the best things God gave us is that, like, you're conscious of like, all right, like I know I'm not on the right path.
Yeah.
It's that, like, when you're just being a fucking asshole to people.
Yeah.
And like, even if they deserve, like, oh, he had it coming. Oh, cool. And then when you're done, you're just like, oh, fuck, man. Like,
That feeling.
I don't need to keep, like, this isn't, I got fucking up.
Yeah.
Even like, because you don't want to live your life that way, or like if you mistreat someone, or if you steal something, or do a bad thing, caught or not, you just kind of like feel that, man, it just doesn't sit right. Like, that's one of the best gifts you can get from God.
Yeah.
Our conscience is, it's collective, man. Everybody knows it. If you say conscience, doesn't matter what country you're in, everybody understands it. Why? That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's that collective unconscious, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets it, man. It's this collection of human wisdom that's everybody gets when we're not dialed in. Doesn't matter if you didn't get away with it.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody gets away with anything.
Now it's on you.
Yeah, nobody gets away with anything.
100%.
And I heard on your another podcast, like, part of your daily routine, a big part of that is visualization.
Yeah.
Is that like some of your time with God? Is that what that is? Or is that more like visualizing your life, or a little bit of everything?
It's a really good question, man. It's absolutely, it's tapping in and plugging into, like, what is the divine design? Where am I heading here? And people will ask me about visualization. They're like, oh, I'm having a hard time visualizing my purpose or my vision. I go, well, then you're not meant to know yet. Right?
Yeah, that's me. I can't meditate.
I go,
That's
don't.
so
I go, it's not something you seek. To seek is to suffer, man. You're not, I'm going to visualize. I go, dude, chill.
That's like
Let
the
it come
human
to you.
part of us.
It's a download.
Like, we try to force it to happen.
Bro, you ain't forcing your destiny, bro.
Yeah.
It's coming, man.
Yeah.
So just
Act
stack
right.
the deck in your favor and act
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that
right.
because it's more so like not trying to make something happen, but just be like open to just being like open.
Open the channels up, man.
Yeah.
Your destiny whispers at you. It doesn't shout.
And just know you have to practice that, right? Like, I'm not a big meditator, a big visualizer. I'm just a big action taker.
yeah.
Not that I'm saying one's better than the other. Both, right? It's probably the right answer. But whatever it is, like, if you decide to pursue that, just like anything else, man, it's gonna take practice. Like, you can't
Repetition.
you can't cross your leg. Like, I can't even sit cross-legged. That's where I'm starting. Right?
I can't. I'm not gonna sit and visualize. My whole thing. I put music on and I pace, man. I put myself in like a bathroom, like a dog in a kennel. I need
Really?
yeah, man. Because I do it the same way. I would just 10, 15 minutes, man. I just listen to some music. I think, I kind of tap in, plug in, boom, I'm good. That's I'm not gonna sit and fucking kumbaya.
What are you thinking about? Your future? Or how you want to go about your day, or what? Or all the above?
Sometimes it might be immediate, and like I said, I don't try for anything. I'm like, all right, where is this? And sometimes, man, dude, it's weird because I had a like realization. I was like, my fiance in the other room, pregnant, like. I had visualized all this and it was happening and it was living it. It was a very cool feeling. And then I'm like, all right, well, what's the next thing, man? And so I'm like, well, what's this house look like, man? What's that driveway look like, man?
Yeah.
Like, what do I want to see, man? And so it's more like a feel good evolution.
And then it just gets reverse engineered to like, are you living every day? That would equal that, right?
Perfect. It's you. All right, where's the end state? All right, now let's reverse engineer. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because it doesn't matter, man. You ain't manifesting shit without doing it.
Yeah.
It ain't happening, bro. So you
Or
better
if you've
start.
had some success, like if you've never manifested, you probably just didn't realize you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
So
point.
just get back to like, hey, where were you winning or where have you had some success, and just try to dissect like what was working there. We're so critical to look at like things that don't work. Look back to when you had some things that did work.
Yeah.
What was life like? What were you doing? What were your habits like? Look at that.
That's
Start there,
huge.
dive in.
That's huge. And that was really what started my blueprint, if you want to call it that, is I go, man, when was I like happiest? And I thought back to when I was first in the SEAL teams.
Yeah.
I was like fucking up at 3 and working out first.
Present.
And like stacking my clothes out before work. And I was like, oh man, I was really happy then. Like locked on. And I go, I'm gonna start doing that shit again. And that's how it kind of started.
Entrepreneur space, you just have to create that versus like there, like your promotions, your missions is given to you. Here, take those habits, take those rituals, but you got to invent the mission.
Yeah.
That's where entrepreneurship becomes a struggle, is military, police, whatever it is. You're given the mission. Each rank has responsibilities. They're going to tell you what they are. You just got to be good at the framework they're giving you.
Yeah.
Here, it's the opposite. So they're going to give you framework there. You have to develop skill set.
Yeah.
When you get to entrepreneurship, you have the skill set now, but you have to make the framework.
Yeah.
So you have to go create that mission. You got to go create your own promotions,
So true.
right? So like it's just flipped, and that's where a lot of guys struggle.
Man, and we're kind of talking about Veterans Day, is that transition, man, get clear what you want.
Yep.
What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? Is what you're doing going to facilitate that? Well,
Are
if
you
it's
helping
not-
or you're hurting, man? Are you helping it? Or
If
you
it's not
hurting?
going to facilitate that, man, if your job and your picture in some big ass house and you ain't going to, guess what? You're by definition out of alignment.
100%.
You're going to have massive friction and anxiety.
Yo, your gig line's off.
And your gig line's off, man. It's important, man. And I think that's where guys, they're like, my purpose. Well, are you clear on what you want? Okay. Well, now it's stepping across that gap and applying all this shit that we know.
And it might mean selling your fucking house. It might mean quitting your fucking job. It might mean sleeping in a fucking pantry. It might mean going and fucking getting cleaned up. Right? Like typically when you first start creating change, it's big, swift fucking moves first.
Has to.
Now it can get surgical.
Yeah.
But like when I was first like leaving shit and sleeping, it's like, dude, you had to give up big shit. You had to make big sacrifices and make swift fucking bold moves before you could get to those. And most people, they want to start small. And it's like, bro, you ain't never gonna get there.
They're going to stay small. What was your transition, man, when you were you living in the pantry when you got out of the police?
No, dude, I did Marine Corps shit. I did government shit, fucking police shit. I helped my buddy with his fitness company. I branched off and money stopped coming in. And we went to a wedding in San Diego and something else, and I had 2 fucking car payments and I was broke.
Yeah. What was the fitness piece, and it just wasn't?
No, it was a good company, good dude, good company. It was just time for me to build my own thing. So I had the uneducated motivation of like, oh yeah, this will be awesome. And then money stopped coming in. And I was too distracted with going to a wedding and some other shit, ran out of fucking money. Couldn't afford my apartment. Thank God my lease was up.
Yeah.
I just didn't renew. And I'm like, all right, well, I gotta fucking start over. So I slept in my buddy's mom's fucking pantry, dude. Yeah, bro. Like real fucking bare bottom. My fucking buddy
That
dies
must have
in
been
a
a
car
nice
accident.
ass pantry, dude.
No, it was a shit pantry, bro. And I'm an emotional eater. You know what that fucking looks like?
Dude, they open the door, they're like, hey, dude.
There
you see
wasn't
my,
a door.
My fucking Fruity
No,
Pebbles, dog.
Dude.
Yeah, no, there was Fruity Pebbles in there. Fig Newtons and distilled water. You remember Y2K?
Yeah.
It was their fucking Y2K pantry, dude.
Damn,
The fucking
dude.
canned food.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Like I had fucking buddies that were passing away, and like I'm starting real estate wearing this fucking tie.
Yeah.
That's not mine. You know, like driving a car that my mom signed for. That's not mine. I got buddies passing away, and
Damn.
I'm just questioning my entire existence. And it's like, look, dude, you made the Marine, you had good leadership, don't get me wrong, but like you made great, like you need to create, like you need to stop trying to fit real estate and make real estate fit you. The same guy that did this can do that. But you need to grab your sack and fucking, hey, like lean into what you know works. Well, I had a lot of skill set from police work with communication and understanding certain things. And then I had a great concept of building brand and culture through the fitness company we built, through video and different stuff. And
Yeah.
like, we fucking hit it. We hit it from the gate with that. But it was like, yeah, dude, I struggled with my identity for a minute. You're trying to fit in, and okay, realtors wear ties. I got my little fucking leather bag. Like, fuck, dude.
Well,
You
you're
know what I
trying to
look
play
like
the
showing?
game.
Well, dude, and then we all do to an extent.
Yeah.
When you're first new to something.
Yeah.
And then I show up to someone's house in a fucking suit, and like, dude, I look like the CIA, bro. I'm a 240-pound guy showing up to your house in a suit, and you know me from the fitness company.
Yeah.
Or you knew me from police work, and it's like, oh, here's the catch. Here comes the salesman. And it was off-putting to people versus They know you, they like you, they trust you. Put your flannel back on, put some nice jeans on, be you, crushed.
Yeah, that brand.
Yeah.
Dude, somebody said something cool about brand, and they said, all right, imagine Nike built a building.
Yep.
Like, picture that. Like, we could all kind of picture with that, maybe charcoal gray.
Modern, sharp, a ton of fucking glass.
They go, now picture Hyatt made a shoe.
Oh God.
Fuck.
You know, it's like, you go,
Nope.
right, because the brand of Nike's so much stronger. You could plug it in anywhere. And because it's, and that's what I always root back to, like, brand. It's like, dude, it has to be fucking powerful, edgy.
Yeah.
Like, that's what sells, man. Like, what's sexy?
You
what
definitely need that
sells.
stamp an impression on people.
It's got to stamp an impression. And I don't think the monkey suit doesn't do it anymore.
Not for me.
Some people,
And dude,
it pulls it
I also
off,
wasn't,
right?
Yeah.
But if it's
I
not
also
you,
wasn't comfortable in it. That was the other.
That's why.
That was the hitter. I got friends that wear suits and they're comfortable in them and they love them, and that's their brand and that's them, and it works.
Yeah,
For
and
me, it wasn't the whole like, if people are thinking suit right now, they're missing it. It wasn't me.
Yeah, that's
and
what
I
it
wasn't
is.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't my way of making a statement. Me in a suit makes a completely different statement.
Yeah.
I look like the government.
Yeah. You look like the IRS coming.
All
to
I'm missing is a fucking earpiece
shake you down,
coming out of my
dude.
fucking
Yeah.
collar.
Oh yeah.
That's powerful, man. And Austin said something similar when he was doing custom home buildings and stuff. And he said, you know, I started my company and I had my sleeves down and I fucking thought I had to play. No one who's gonna buy a house from a dude. And he's like, bro, the minute I was like, dude, I fucking just be yourself, and it hits way harder.
It's like when you go to a mechanic and they're bullshitting you. You don't know mechanic stuff, but you know when someone's bullshitting, right? If you're not being yourself, they might not know why or where because they don't know real estate. They can just get a weird vibe from you, though, because you're not being yourself. And if people are on the fence about you, they're just not going to move forward.
People they want to do business with people they know and trust.
100%.
And nowadays, with how many interactions people have, it's not like we were in caveman days where you had 5 interactions with people in your life, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
Now you have millions.
Hundreds.
So people are like masters at body language, masters at reading people, whether they know it or not.
Just be you. Be out in front.
You have to. Well, it's the age of authenticity. It's the age of organic. Anything that's too churchy feels
that or just like
wrong.
We know when people are putting a character out there.
Yeah.
And I think people are also being able to see that through social media platforms now. We're just getting more sophisticated with pinpointing that.
Oh, we saw it. Not to talk political, but like you saw it through this whole election.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Like fucking Beyonce and the whole,
dude.
like everyone up on stage where it's just like, no.
If you have to read
laughable.
what you want to say off of a fucking phone that someone wrote for you,
Yep.
disingenuous.
Bro,
and
it's
listen,
bad.
it also it's twofold. I don't like the party, and if all you care, you're promoting a presidential candidate, you're going to go all the way there to stand in front of thousands of people, and you didn't even care enough to say something that you wanted to say.
Yep.
You had to read it off of a fucking phone because the teleprompter wouldn't work.
That shit does
Give me
not
a
work
fucking break.
anymore. It does not work anymore. And
Dude.
it used to work.
For
It does
another day.
not
Well,
work
dude,
anymore.
what we saw, dude, it was laughable. It was a landslide.
We should save that. We'll have a part 3 on that. But
I know,
no,
I
man,
know.
we're gonna have links to your websites, social media, all that stuff. We'll have clips from this. Super fucking fun having you. I know you're thinking about maybe Idaho, maybe Colorado. Like, we'll try to fucking, people nudge Joe Rogan to Austin.
I know.
We're gonna fucking like nudge him to Denver. Like,
I like it here, man. It's fresh. I always gonna have my heart in SoCal where I grew up, but it's just really congested. Yeah, I fucking love it down there, but there's just a lot of fucking people, man.
And it's
Arizona's a
great for
good
vacationing.
spot.
It's great.
Vegas
You
is a
can
good
always
spot.
go vacation out there.
You
It's
know?
great for that.
I like
do it.
that wide open spaces.
Yeah, bro.
dude.
We're gonna get country living, bro.
I'm a peacock. I gotta spread my wings.
Let's do it. Hell yeah. We got some food that showed up. We're gonna grab some
yeah.
food. We got
Cool.
about 15 minutes before you guys got to get out of here. So
do
we'll
it.
eat up and do it. But brother, I love you. I appreciate you for having you on. I'm sure
Love
you'll be
you
on
too,
again in
man.
the future. But and I'm excited for what we can all do together. Super fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you and appreciate everybody watching.
Absolutely.
right. All right.
Day $1.00.
We're outta
Oh,
here.
whoa.
I know. We are.
Day $1.00. We're out of here.
There we go. We'll
See you
see you
guys.
guys.
Little whiskey on the tongue and some long cut. I'ma slip it on down and turn it up. Southbound and we're trailblazing, yeah, but and a posse dirty, filthy like a spit cut. Got the moms at the gate bringing big guns. Raw records be the steak, we the A1. Speak up and we know where we came from. Welcome to the posse, let me hear your long cut.